Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for your time today, for coming along to learn more about Plastic Free July and our plans for 2026. If you have any questions at any time, please feel free to put it in the chat. We have people joining us from around the world, and love if you could just pop your name, where you're dialing in from tonight, and if you're part of any organisation to add that in as well. And please feel free to add any questions. So my name is Rebecca Prince-Ruiz, and I'm the founder of Plastic Free July and the executive director of the foundation. So it's just me on the call tonight. I'm dialing in from Perth in Western Australia. It's actually just gone midnight here, and so my team are not joining me. So it's just me today sharing with you. And for some of you, I can see some familiar names in that are joining us tonight. So some of you might have done it before, some of you might be new. So we're just going to give an overview of the campaigns, some of what we've learned through our comprehensive evaluation programs, some stories that I hope inspire you, and our plans for Plastic Free July 2026 and how you can get involved. So Plastic Free July is a global public good movement, and we're not about awareness or education raising about the problem. Rather, we help individuals, schools, organisations and communities to reduce single-use plastic and accelerate long-term behaviour change. And the Plastic Free Foundation, the not-for-profit which sits behind that, exists to steward this shared platform. We're the originator and the creator of Plastic Free July. Back in 2011, we started the challenge, and the foundation exists to steward this shared platform and protect its integrity. As I said, we do a lot of research, provide the evidence base and the long-term impact. So that's us. So each year we do a comprehensive survey framework. We ask people from around the world who are taking part a series of questions on their consumer choices, on behaviours, on their attitudes towards policy change, on how much waste they create. And then we repeat those surveys again in September, as well as doing general population surveys and global awareness surveys, so we can compare the behaviour of Plastic Free July participants to non-participants. And what we've seen over the years is a real increase in that level of awareness, of concern. Over 75% of people that are surveyed globally said they're concerned about plastic pollution ending up in our landfills, in our environment and our oceans. And unlike 7 or 8 years ago when we started this research, there's very little difference in the those values and the policy support between and support for strong policies, so single-use plastic bans or producers taking responsibility. There's little difference between participants and non-participants. What the difference is in behaviours. And so we see this gap between people's values, wanting a clean environment and not being okay with waste and pollution, and actually some of the choices that they're making in their daily lives. So what we try and do through Plastic Free July, it's a very positive campaign. It's not about shaming or blaming. It's also not about being perfect. It's not about being plastic free. It's about lots of people making small changes at the same time, and that those small steps make a big difference. So we try and share a range of choices, a range of ideas, a range of solutions, and a range of stories from around the world. And that's why our network and people like you that are here on this call today are so important, because we don't have all the ideas and solutions, but there's so many great ideas and alternatives to plastic packaging and all of these problematic litter items that we're seeing out there. And really, this is a platform to share those, to celebrate those, and to accelerate change. So we try and we have a very our focus is on a mainstream broad demographic. We try and engage the vast majority of the population by keeping the campaign normal and simple, and a real focus on nudging action. So we focus on a how to change, not the why to change or the shifting of attitudes. And we target behaviours that are starting to be done by they're becoming normalised, and they're starting to be done by a portion of the population, 30, 40% of the community, but there's still a lot of scope for change. So that's things like avoiding bottled drinks, avoiding pre-packaged fruit and vegetables, refusing plastic straws in jurisdictions where they're not already banned, plastic food wrap and disposable cups. So that's why we target on those behaviours. And as I said, there are so many solutions out there, and we acknowledge, it is easy to be overwhelmed, because as anyone who's started to try and reduce their single-use plastics or avoid it, there is so much out there. So we focus on these solutions and that behaviour change piece. And the campaign looks different in different countries, in different cultures. We all have different options, we have different needs, we have a lot of things going on in our lives. And so I'm just going to share just a few images of what participation looks like, either at an individual level or at a more community level around the world. So we see small businesses and cafes and counties and local governments working with their residents in putting up posters, encouraging people to form new habits, to remember their reusable items. We have people running events and workshops. This image in the middle is from last year. One of our youth fellows ran in Sri Lanka a tote bag painting session in a local school, and engaged the parents and engaged locals to actually sew the fabric bags in the first place. In Africa, we have a number of NGOs and community organisations that are really using the campaign to target their pollution issues, their litter issues, and get together each year and look at, well, what are the items that we can focus on, and what are the solutions that are working in our community. The example on the left here was from a food co-op in Lexington in the US, and for Plastic Free July last year, they switched from single-use plastic utensils to reusable utensils, saving over 30,000 single-use items in 1 year, and they had a kind of a borrow and bring back scheme. They also, during July, eliminated the use of plastic film wrap or cling wrap, saran wrap on their sandwiches and wraps that they served in store. I think we've got Ryan here. I thought your name pop up, Ryan, from Chef Works in the US. They've also been taking part with their, hi Ryan. I haven't met Ryan before. I've just seen his name. As each year this organisation takes their participation, excuse me, to the next level, encouraging their staff, providing reusable kits for new staff that come on, and I'm sure a lot more. We saw a number of communities running events, plastic-free morning teas, plastic-free picnics. This image on the right-hand side is from Jakarta in Indonesia. A number of NGOs came together and hosted a picnic. They invited local reuse businesses and not-for-profits to come share their products and systems and also the work that they do. They ran workshops, they fed everyone who came. They said, invited people to bring along their own bowls and utensils and cups, and they provided food and drinks, and also brought along a number of local food carts and worked with them and set up a wash-up station so that this event of almost 500 people became single-use free, and it was a really wonderful event to be part of. As I said, I live in Australia, and I was talking to our national broadcaster, one of their children's programs, and when I was telling them about the plastic-free picnic in Jakarta, they said, "Oh, that's great. We're going to do that on the same day with our local children's television program." And they had a bunch of families hosting picnics in their backyard, and they were crossing to those on the day. And what I love about all of these stories is there's so many different creative ideas based on the plastics that are in people's lives and what the alternatives are, and that there's this real ripple effect of change from people doing something in their community that it then inspires others. And often we'll hear of people taking part and making changes in their own lives and feeling good about it, and then the next year they might take it into their workplace or into their local sporting group or their kids' school or to their families, and it really grows. And I think it's really testament to that, the saying of actions speak louder than words, and how grassroots change can happen. And this campaign has grown from 40 people to 400 to 4,000 over the years. Last year, over 174 million people from 190 countries took part. Over the last 6 years since we've been doing this evaluation, participants have avoided 15 million tonnes of household waste, including 2 million tonnes of plastic. So this isn't waste that has now been sorted and sent to recycling. This is products and packaging and goods that just weren't purchased or accepted or used in the first place. So we're really not about switching from single-use plastic to single-use other materials. This is really about reducing waste, about finding alternatives, about remembering reusables, forming new habits. And when lots of people make those changes at the same time, putting pressure on business to take responsibility and governments to act and to legislate. And there is so many wonderful stories of change, and also some really interesting things that we measure, such as people's sense of well-being and connection to their communities. We can measure the increase in those metrics as part of their participation. So our theme for this year is a plastic-free future. I feel like with the emerging evidence of the human health risks and harms to human health from plastics, not just the microplastics, but also the plastics associated chemicals. And there was a new paper released yesterday on the effects of bisphenols and phthalates on the body, and also the reversal of those amounts in the body after moving away from having food and beverages in contact with plastic. So we'll add the link in of that report into a follow-up email. We're going to be enhancing the plastic-free pledge, which we've highlighted, which we've been piloting for the last couple of years. And we are also going to make a world record attempt. Hopefully it's a Guinness World Record attempt, but they're taking a very long time to process our application. So there's been a number of world record attempts made for plastic, made regarding plastic. One actually was plastic itself because of the pollution impacts. There's been sculptures made from plastic pollution. There's been attempts around recycling, around the number of pieces of plastic litter collected, signs made out of plastic bag. But again, they're all focused on the problem, and that research that I just shared with you, by the time we do that in September each year and we release those results, it's November or December. And at the end of the day, there's nothing to show for that success in terms of success is an empty trash can, success is an empty bin, success is this materials not being used in the first place. So we want to flip that. We want to flip it from the problem to the solutions and encourage people to be part of it. So this year for Plastic Free July, on the 1st of July, we're going to make a world record attempt for the most number of people refusing single-use plastic in one day. So this is the 1st of July. And we're trying to keep the mechanism to do it, the barrier to entry, as low as we can. We're trying to make it as simple as possible. And for everyone who signed up for this webinar or are on it today, we'll in the next couple of weeks, we'll have finalised all of those resources and comms materials, and we'll send it to you. So the idea is really simple. You choose one or more items of single-use plastic that you want to avoid. You can make the pledge digitally, or you can download a pledge card. We'll have those in 6 different languages. We have those. We've just chosen the UN languages, and then take a photo to upload, either of yourself or a group. Do it at work or with your friends and family or at your local cafe or at the gym or wherever it is where you gather together, and show what the solutions are. And that'll be on the 1st of July. And so we're trying to share that as far and wide as we can at the moment with groups that are likely to be able to share it in their network, but we actually want people to hold off uploading it until the 1st of July because we need some measurable mechanism to do that. So this is the Plastic Free Pledge page from last year and the new pledge, which can be downloaded in English or other languages. And one of the differences between this year and last year is that when there's a group of people doing it, so say if you're doing it with 10 friends or 100 people at work, you can put in when you upload it, this is 10 people or 100 people or however many the number is. And we want to really scale that up. So Jack Johnson, the musician, is our ambassador. He's actually playing a concert on the 1st of July in New York, and we're really hoping, in upstate New York, I'm really hoping that he'll be able to encourage like all his concert goers to make a pledge. And we're really wanting to do this to get some more media attention. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the world right now, and so many issues. And I think it's really important, especially as we're we haven't made as much progress on the Global Plastics Treaty as many of us would have liked. Keeping up that public pressure and inviting more people, but also showing government and showing businesses that this is an issue people really care about. So it's giving people something to do in a hopefully fun and positive way. We've also got lots of, for anyone who's looked on the website, we've got lots of resources and tools and assets. There's posters on there, and there's badges, and there's a calendar with 31 different ideas of ways to avoid single-use plastic during July. We're always looking for stories of change. We're looking for stories of what people are doing and what communities and organisations are doing. There's lots of ideas about initiatives there, having a plastic-free morning tea or a lunch, or we've got a plastic-free schools challenge with lots of resources for schools. It's a terrible month for schools around the world, but many people, many schools will often do it as plastic-free term 3 or in August or a day or a week. We've kind of have decoupled that from July to make it easier for them. Some people are in my house. We're actually going to host a screening in June of the Plastic Detox that's on Netflix and invite people around. We're going to have soup and popcorn and a group viewing and chat about that documentary. Something new that we introduced last year was a licensing program. So all of these materials, the pledge is outside the license, so there's no need to worry about that. That's free for everyone. All of the resources and tools that we have are free for community groups, schools, individuals, registered charities and not-for-profits, but we're inviting organisations, businesses, governments that are taking part and using this campaign and resources to pay a license fee, rather like we would do with the music industry, which helps us to keep providing the tools and support free for people and communities worldwide. So that's Plastic Free July for this year. We really do think that small steps make a big difference. We'd love you to stay connected, to stay involved. We'd love you all to take the Plastic Free pledge in your communities on the 1st of July to inspire others to help to normalise reuse, to normalise to stop this, what is an increasing norm of just using things once and throwing it away, to have a bit of a reset and help people to think about this small thing that I do. It's going to make a difference because lots of other people are doing it too. So we really want for it to be positive, for it to be fun, and to get this message heard around the world and together make a difference. I'm going to just stop talking. I'm actually going to just stop sharing my screen. Please feel free to turn on your video if you feel comfortable to. Just gonna find. I'm just seeing people's names. Great to see so many people from so many countries, from South Africa. Oh, thank you very much for somebody's added the note. Did anyone have any questions or anything they wanted to share? Please feel free to just gonna see if anyone's popped anything in the QA to add it into, yeah, please use the chat, not the Q&A. If you have anything to share about what you've done before for Plastic Free July, or if you have any plans for this year, we'd really love to hear from you. Ryan, I would love to hear more about what Chefworks has done. It is really exciting. Well, if no one, someone says, Ryan says we no longer provide single-use plastics at any of our events. Congratulations. That's really great to hear. Ryan, do you have any idea of like how, and feel free to unmute yourself, or you can just pop it in the chat. Do you have any idea of kind of the number of single-use plastics that you have avoided?
I had a number, but I don't have it handy. Can you hear me? Can't hear me?
That's strange because you don't look like you're on mute.
Not on mute.
We can hear you,
anybody
Ryan.
hear me? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we hear
Maybe
you.
Ryan, sorry, I can't hear you. I'm not sure if anyone else can.
We can hear.
I think we were gonna
In the meantime,
end
I'll
up
just
preventing using
Control.
Oh, you can hear. Oh,
Oh.
sorry, then it's just me.
Oh.
Wow, 15,000 single-use plastic items. I think that deserves a big thumbs up. No, actually, probably applause. Thanks for sharing that, Ryan.
Sure.
I've got Jen, who runs a community recycle station for items that can't go curbside, write a monthly newsletter. Love you to put the pledge in that. If you could put it. You'll be in Switzerland with a group of scouts. Would love to see a group of scouts in Switzerland with their water bottles and making a pledge. That's exactly our idea. It's we want it to be a very fun channel. Fiona in the UK, so last year we did. Are you the Fiona from Chili's, maybe?
Yes.
A big poster campaign with some retail partners in the UK to raise awareness and promote making a pledge to avoid single use and reuse instead. We also commissioned a poem with an artist about reuse. Fantastic. I love hearing this, so how many creative ways people are avoiding single-use plastic, and it's getting it out into those public places where people are making their purchases and where people are making their decisions and just thinking about things differently. And one of the things that I love, well, the thing that I love the most about this work that I do is we get to hear a lot of these stories. We get to hear from a lot of people about what they've done for Plastic Free July. We hear often stories years later, but oftentimes when you're trying to promote positive change and to engage your community and hear and share with other people, you don't always know what the results of that might be. But this campaign wouldn't be what it is now if millions and millions of people weren't making changes in their own lives and sharing it in their communities and with others, and really wanting to make a difference. So thank you so much to everyone who has participated in the past. Thank you for turning up today, or to listening thank you for listening to this recording if you are, and thank you to all the people who have shared what they have done for Plastic Free July in the past, or what you're planning on doing this year. We're really excited about this world record. We really hope we can make a Guinness World Record. We'd love you to share it far and wide, and together small steps can make a big difference. So thanks very much, everyone. Really appreciate your time. You've got our email address, hello@plasticfreejuly.org. Please don't hesitate to drop us a line, ask any questions. There's more great ideas. Thank you so much, everyone, for all of the changes that you're making. Thank you.